Alright, so in today's video I am running my camera in auto instead of manual mode purely because the weather is extremely weird at the moment. It goes from extremely bright to it's getting really bright right now to then extremely dark, and it's so hard for me to keep control of what's happening. So it's in auto, so if it looks shit I apologize, and everything around me is rattling, so I'll try and put some background music to cover that up. But in today's video, this Bluetooth speaker right here, this is the one that little Bluetooth, that little 1-inch speaker in one of my previous videos that was really good and had a really powerful speaker, and it was moving a ton and everyone was asking me what it was. This right here is what it's out of. This is a Moshi bass disc. These things have that speaker just there, and in today's video I'm going to be modifying this particular one right here to hopefully get a much better battery life out of it. I'm just going to do a video on me pulling it apart, wiring in a second battery, and hopefully the thing goes really good and hopefully it sounds awesome. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is unscrew the bottom of it. As you can see, it doesn't actually have any feet on it at the moment because I've already pulled them off before and lost them, so it doesn't have any feet anymore. But let's pull the base off this little speaker. So I've actually just pulled the amplifier board out with the speaker and everything and wired in the second battery, and this is what makes up the speaker. So here, this round board just here is the amplifier board, and then out of that there is some speaker plugs which go straight to the speaker here, in which I do have to solder because I was messing around with this once before, and as you can tell I actually never got around to soldering it. I've just wrapped the wires around, which is a pretty sketchy job, but who gives a shit, it's only a little Bluetooth speaker. And then the batteries are wired together in parallel for double the actual, double the milliamp, not double the voltage. The moment you double the voltage, and trust me, I've done it before because I've had 2 or 3 of these speakers, the moment you double the voltage, rest in peace amplifier board. So I went for double the capacity in the batteries instead because, I don't know, they're only 800 milliamp hour batteries, so the bigger the better, I guess. If I can have 2600 milliamp on a speaker that big and an amplifier board with that beefy internals, man, this thing is going to have a very long lasting battery. So that there is the internals for this speaker. Besides that, it's just the shell, which is pretty much empty, and that's the insides of the speaker. So that's pretty simple. All I'm going to do is just solder this up, and hopefully it sounds better, and hopefully the battery lasts forever. As you can see, I just put some electrical tape on it to prevent any shorting at the moment, but once I solder that back up I'll cover them again. The last thing you want is to short batteries, because I don't want to be losing these batteries by accidentally killing them. So I'm going to solder these up right now, and hopefully everything works out to plan. While my soldering iron in the background just over here is heating up, we may as well just do a quick test to make sure the way everything's wired up that it all works. So let's flick the tiny ass little black switch we have just here. Hopefully there's a beep, and hopefully that should connect to my phone and start playing music. Let's get the trusty Samsung Galaxy S7 and oh, there we go, look at this. Working like a champ. Alright, so with this speaker there is actually already some solder on there that I don't know if you can see it or not. So what I'm hoping is, with my soldering iron just here, I'm actually just going to be able to touch the previous solder that's already on there. Hopefully that just melts and everything works perfectly that way, because if it doesn't then I have to add some solder, and oh yeah, that stuff just melted straight up. Yep. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to happen. Alright, so I'm not sure if you can actually tell now, but the speaker is fully soldered up, and now it's finally time to solder the batteries together and then reassemble the speaker, and hopefully the battery life is going to be 110% ridiculous, because the battery as it is already lasts about 10 to 12 hours at full volume. So with this little battery mod, plugging these things together and wiring them together like this, hopefully I should be able to get like 20 hours of full volume, like 1600 milliamps is, well, one's upside down, but oh no, it's not. 1600 milliamps for a little Bluetooth speaker is overkill as it gets. So I don't know why companies don't actually just jam pack their speakers full of batteries. I'm pretty sure anyone out there is going to pick a speaker that weighs 20 or 30 grams more, because one, it makes it feel more solid because of the weight, and two, the battery life is going to last that much longer and make it look that much better than the competitors. So I don't know, maybe I should make Bluetooth speakers and have my own company. That would be a dream. But as far as we go now, I'm just going to solder these together. I'm going to have to add some solder to this, and hopefully it all sounds pretty swell, and hopefully it actually works once I'm finished with this and we can reassemble it and get some nice audio clips of this speaker working. Alright, so here we can just see the tip there. That is the exposed metal. I'm literally just going to add a tiny little bit of solder to it, and all should work perfectly if my soldering iron, there we go. Bang on, there we go. That is never ever going to fail me. Here we go again with the same thing, this time on the positive side. Touch that down, melt some solder to it, blow on it, and now there's two nice big blobs of solder that will never let me down, and these batteries will hold up perfectly in the enclosure. Absolutely perfect. That is a very, very strong solder joint there, and that is going to last ages. Look at that. Alright, stay there, camera. Oh god. Oh, I zoomed. Alright, so just as a tip for anyone who does this, no matter how good your solder joints are or anything, use some electrical tape and wrap around them, not because the joints are going to fail, but just in case they move around inside the speaker. The last thing you want is those wires to short together and kill your batteries or kill the amp or do something bad. So I just insulate them like that, and now there's no chance of something shorting out. The speaker's pretty fine because they're soldered far away, but the fact that there's two exposed plugs on that can touch and short, so speakers are fine. I'll put that back in now, and we'll rebuild this speaker. Alright, so now comes the difficult bit of trying to remember how to make the speaker fit together, and I'm sorry for the banging in the background, I can't help it, it's the wind. So the amp fits in perfectly like that. As we can see, that bit of plastic there goes through it and holds it very, very strong in place, and everything mounts up nice and flush on the front. And then I've just got to put the speaker in and position that in there, and then we can see on the amplifier board here, if I zoom you in on that, you can see there it's got written that way, speaker and battery positive and negative, speaker positive and negative. So you just got to make sure I actually plug it into the right one of those. The speaker is that one, and now from what I'm gathering, it's going to be quite difficult to actually fit the batteries in this little enclosure. I should just be able to wedge them in somehow, but I've got to plug them in, but I've also got to have the battery or the wires clear this bit here, because that's where the actual bits of the actual screws go. So maybe if I stick that around there like that, I can run the batteries somewhere like, oh god, this is not going to work. Plug them in like that or something. Alright, so I'm just going to go for plan B here, which is the non-optimal plan, and just screw it together really, really tight and hope for the best. Let's double check it turns on. Very loud, definitely working. As we can see here, there's quite the lip around the edge of the speaker. It's not going to focus, I can already tell. You can see there's a bit of an edge poking up, and then if we turn it around, it's not there. So this side here is being pushed up because of the batteries. So what I'm going to do is just screw it down as tight as I can and hope for the best. It seems to work and go away a bit if you just push on it, but it's probably not the ideal thing, so I don't recommend you do this, but I don't really care, so let's do it. Hopefully nothing strips, because it's just metal screws into plastic, and hoping for the best here. There we go, it is flush. except for that little bit just there. But I really couldn't care less. The speaker works, assumingly. Yep, kind of made a weird glitchy noise when I tried to turn it on. But hopefully this thing sounds good. Let's turn it on and connect it to my phone here. And hopefully, there we go. Works like a treat. Alright, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like down below if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It was quite an interesting, just sort of weird video, and I got the Moshi working with 2 batteries. Twice the battery is going to give me some ridiculous amount of battery time. I just realized before I've been recording this whole video in 30 frames per second, and I normally record in 60, so I apologize for that. If you care or not, it's now in 60 and the future videos will be. I was doing a nighttime shot the other day, and the extra like 30-second shutter speed instead of 60 was giving me that lighting difference that made the video all worthwhile at 30 frames a second instead. So I apologize for this video being in 30 bar the end. So that being said, if you've enjoyed, yeah, like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. And leave me some video ideas down below. I'd appreciate some help. What do you guys want to see? And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Whoa, what is that bit of hair doing? Leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel if oh my English overexposed sun piss off. Man, that looks cinematic.